Peace and blessings, family. Welcome, everybody. Let's see. Today, we're going to be discussing and talking about Black history. We're going to be going over a little bit of Black history. But the aspect that we're going to be covering it from is I usually like to go back to the roots, you know, which would be, as far as America go, 1619. But I want to go back to the root in this specific area and this specific subject, psychologically first and foremost. I wanna expound on the psychological aspect because that's the aspect that I'm really um trying to attack in the first place. Um I wanna basically talk about the self-esteem, the self-esteem and the self-respect and the values that are placed on Black America, man and woman. You know, I feel like specifically dealing with us Black people, of course. I feel like specifically, like psychologically, we have to address a lot of situations and a lot of problems. And those situations and those problems are situations and problems that control our mental health. It controls our self-esteem. It controls our self-respect. It controls our values, and it controls how overall how we deal with each other as people based on how we view each other as people, you know. And I say psychologically because, like you can just look at it. You ain't got to be no scholar. You ain't got to be no expert. All you got to do is have a clear vision and a clear set of eyes and you can see it. So you don't got to be no scholar or nothing like that. But psychologically, look at something. We've had our freedom how long? Like, when I say freedom, of course you gotta you gotta put that into perspective also. But we've had opportunity, I rather say, for how long? You know, and I'm saying all of that to say this. We've been out of bondage. You know, physically more so. That's the aspect I was looking for. That's the wording. Physically, we've been out of slavery since 1865. We've been out of slavery, you know, um, and somehow we're in 2022 right now. Over 100 and some odd years later, almost 200 years later, 19 2065 will be 200 years later. So I'ma say almost 2 centuries later, and we still in chains up here though. Still in chains, you know, psychologically and mentally. Those cuffs are still on. I believe it was the brother Dr. Woodrow Wilson. Hope I'm quoting his name correctly. Haven't read his book in probably about 8 years. But I believe it was Dr. Woodrow Wilson, man, who said that, slavery is so deep and it's so psychologically embedded into the brains of African Americans, or however you want to say it, black folks. It's so deeply embedded in us that um you don't even basically gotta tell one of us to go into a certain door. We're gonna go into it anyways. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better terminology, as the brother quoted it. You know, basically, basically, we've been enslaved so good that we no longer need directions to still be a slave. We don't know, not even directions. We don't know, we no longer need instructions to still be a slave because we still slaves up here. So I think we need to nip that in the bud. We definitely need to address that, because the moment we address that is the moment we can begin to gain our self-respect back. I feel like, and not to even just attack mental health, but overall, I feel like we can't gain our self-respect back and our dignity back until we address the fact that we've been broken. And when a people been broken, just giving them their freedom back, that's not enough. That's just like, for instance, with prison. You know what I'm saying? That's a big institution as you see it. And the 13th Amendment, it says that you're a slave you're legally a slave, basically. Involuntary servitude. But my point is, even the prison system, once you go back in there, or once you enter their system, you know what I'm saying? Not only are you a slave, but psychologically and mentally, they're so deep, and they got it so well written out that they know that you're gonna need rehabilitation before you re-enter society. How do they know that? Now, these people that are getting rehabilitated are people who just came back from serving involuntary servitude. You know what I'm saying? Which is, in other words, slavery. It's just an illegal term. So my point is, if they knew that a certain people just coming out of involuntary servitude, or in other words, slavery, would need rehabilitation, what make you think that a people who come from generations, 400 years of generation period of slavery, would need rehabilitation? I'm not talking about economics and finances. That don't do nothing. How many people got money, buku money, and they commit suicide? You know what I'm saying? Killing themselves. You know what I'm saying? So the money don't got nothing to do with it. It's a psychological thing. I wouldn't, in a sense, I could agree to that. It's a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual warfare, but it's also a psychological warfare also. And it needs to be addressed. We got to get past and that's before we can even get to the aspect of us wanting our land and our property and that which is due to us, our 40 acres and a mule. We kind of gotta lay off of that for a while, because if we don't got our mental health right, and our mind right, and our mental strength together, which would help fortify our self-esteem and will help dignify us again, until we get that right, we're gonna be suffering, and we wouldn't even know what to do with that wealth or that property. So I think it's important for each and every one of us, I'm talking about the black man and the black woman, whenever we get the time, and I believe that it's no secret. We know that our mental health is, I believe we got no, I'm not gonna quote on that because it could be wrong, but I believe it's out of us, or it's either blacks or whites that have the highest rates of mental health issues. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's just bad, man. Like, we gotta address that though, and focus on that, man, and make sure our mental health is up to par. You know what I'm saying? Especially being that we just came out of like those years of slavery. Like, even wounds take time to heal. Like, when was the healing process? There was no healing process for slaves coming out of slavery. You know what I'm saying? What was the healing process? And for those generations, or not even those generations, for those ancestors, or for them for the people who came after our, you know what I'm saying, after our ancestors and stuff like that, what did we, you know what I'm saying? If our ancestors didn't even heal and didn't even get themselves together, then what you think we inherited? We inherited the same attitude. Hold on, baby. That'll be in there in a second, okay? Go watch you cartoons. That'll be in there in a second, okay? But yeah, man, we just gotta get it. We gotta get it together. We gotta get it together. Come here, Pooh. Come here, mama. Come here. Come here, Poetry. Yeah, so we gotta get it together, man. And we just gotta address that, man, and focus on our mental health, man, and start getting things together, man. And like this stuff is definitely by divine. Excuse me. It's by design, not by divine. You know, and it's just something, you know, we gotta address, man, and get together. It's okay, princess. But yeah, that's something I wanna bring to y'all attention, and it's something I look forward to conquering and overall us as a people getting over and overcoming. You know what I'm saying? But before we can overcome these things, you know, they need to be addressed, and we gotta address them as such. You know, we can't find solutions to problems if we don't even know what the problem is. You know, so just taking a step back, I think that's something to look into. You know, that's my piece on that. I'm John L. And as y'all know it, we are the content. The content is us. So let's help to keep the content going, y'all. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your watching. Peace.